All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're officially going to kick off our media availabilities here with Chase Elliott, who also is running double duty this weekend, Chase. So thank you so much for spending some time with us. We're coming back here at Chicagoland Speedway, so just tell us a little bit about what you're looking forward to this weekend.
On, off. I'm excited to be back here. Honestly, I always enjoyed racing up here when we used to visit. Thought that it was always a great stop on our schedule, and one that we made quite a few times over the years early in my career. And yeah, thought we had some good runs throughout that time period, and certainly it was better than the street course was for me. So hopefully this weekend's a better effort, and we can try and just put together a solid day. We need a good solid day. So hopefully we can put that together this weekend on Sunday, and then Saturday. Nice to be back in the car. I haven't been in a Saturday race in a while. Been like over a year, I think. So kind of curious to see how that goes, and appreciate Dale and the boss and just everybody for having me and letting me do it, and hopefully can get up to speed quick and get going.
All right, we will go ahead and take questions from the media. If you have a question, raise your hand. We're going to start here with Matt Weaver.
Matt Weaver, motorsport.com. Recognizing that not all intermediate tracks are the so-called cookie cutters, these types of tracks have been very entertaining. Drivers seem to enjoy them with this car. Do you expect a similar race product and racecraft as we've seen at like a Kansas or a Charlotte?
I think so. And really all I have to go off of is the conversations I've had with Kyle from the test. I mean, outside that, I don't know. I've watched a lot of video from that, but it looks like it will race well. I think the big thing is just going to be how do our cars navigate the bump in 3 and 4, and is that bump and how rough these cars ride at different points in time going to prohibit you from running a lane that you need to run to have fresh air? How late into a run, if the answer to that is yes, then how late into the run do you have to go to get the tires pumped up well enough to have a good enough ride to run across a section of the racetrack that's not too long of a distance? So until you kind of get into those racing environments, I don't really have those answers, I guess. But it looked like a lot of fun from the onboard. Obviously, he's out there by himself, but it looked like a lot of fun. Looked like Chicago, that I remember the last couple trips that we made. So I think it has a lot of potential to race really well. As long as we can navigate around that bump and have options from that perspective.
And then I think you're 17 points out of fifth, and given in the standings, and given how the seeding for the chase for the championship works, do you view being top 5 as something that's extremely vital, or are you just not concerned that if you perform, the championship will work itself out? I think, how do you view where you are in the final regular season standings?
Yeah, I mean, I want to get as far forward as I can. Where that is, I don't know, but I want to try and stack as many points as I can between now and the last race, as possible, and just kind of see where it all shakes out. So, I view that stuff from a pretty simplistic standpoint. Like, you do a good job and you get rewarded, and you don't, and you're going to fall back. Like, we had 2 bad weeks and we lost spots. It's kind of how it should work. We had a good run of races there for a period of time, and we were up there in the points, and was had a few spots better than we are now. So, to me, that's all up to us, and we just have to perform at a higher level than we have the last couple weeks, stack some more points, get some stage points, all those things, and the seating will reward you, and it will place you where you deserve to be.
All right, we're going to go to Kelly.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Chase, given the amount of time since the series was last year and the fact that it is a brand new race car, do you almost look at this race like it's a new race? It's a new race weekend, a new racetrack type of deal.
A little. I mean, I again, kind of watching some of those, the onboards and listening to the comments, it sounds like Chicago, and having that experience and having some laps here is nice. Like, it's been a long time, but I do remember it. So yeah, I mean, I think a little bit of both, but certainly this car has some has some different tendencies as we've probably well documented at this point in time. But for me, it's been a little bit of a challenge kind of coming back to this place and like, thinking through the Cup car and kind of what I think is going to be expected on that side, or my best educated guess, and then also trying to piece together the Saturday race stuff too, and just having not done that in so long, and feel like I've got a lot of catch up to play on that front. So glad we get a little longer practice for this weekend with those guys, and they didn't cancel practice. I was getting really nervous that I was going to have to go out there and make a make a qualifying lap, and that thing after a year plus would have been interesting. So glad we got to practice and hope that hope it plays out in our favor.
The test that Larson did, you've mentioned that. What can he tell, or how can he explain things like drivers to drivers when he comes back to you guys and explains what he experienced that you all will want to listen to and try to put in that notebook?
I mean, I think just as much detail as he's willing to share. Obviously that's up to him on how much of that he wants to share or not. I feel like he was, really open about what he experienced, what caught him off guard, what was kind of normal, all those things. So, look, I think all the fine detail you have to experience firsthand, and there's really no way he can verbalize that to any of us and it make complete and total sense. But I think he can, hit the high spots of what he saw, what he felt, what he thought was good, what he thought was bad, where our cars need to be better, or where maybe they did a good job. And then from there, it's like, okay, we got to go make laps and kind of see. But I think it's going to take a minute to get up to speed for everybody that wasn't at the test, to be honest. And hopefully we can, do that quickly and get to a place that we feel confident in making a change from there.
All right, go ahead.
Mitchell Brewer, Black Hat Sports. Chase, you've mentioned that this is the first time coming back. How much will the extra track time with the O'Reilly race help you this weekend?
Yeah, I hope a lot. Like I said, it's been a minute. The cars have evolved, I'm sure, since they, were last year at least. And, just haven't done a lot of that racing at all. I mean, I watch it and I see it, and you're kind of studying while not really trying to study, I guess, in a way, while you're watching those races on Saturdays when I have the time. But, I think it's going to be tough for me. I mean, I told Marty this week, I'm like, give me a minute because it's gonna take me a few laps. So, hopefully, like I said, just hope I can get up to speed fast in a semi-reasonable manner and try and keep the car going straight in one piece and rely on some of the information and confidence that they have in certain things with their cars and just go race and see where we stack up.
All right, Zach, go ahead.
Well, NASCAR.com. Chase, I saw on Wednesday you were at the England-Congo World Cup game. How was that? What was that experience like? And had you been to a pro soccer game before?
No, I'd never been, and never been to a World Cup game either. So that was really cool just to, experience that. Obviously, just the different cultures and all the different people that brings together. I think it's really cool. And so I had a good time. I don't know a lot about soccer, so I just had the opportunity to go. I thought it'd be cool to see it and just kind of take some time to, I guess, learn a different sport, learn something new, and kind of see what it was all about. So I've watched a handful of the games throughout the before that, and I've watched a few after that too. Kind of neat to see it in person, and then kind of come back and watch it on TV. So would have been really cool if USA had been playing. I thought that was a really electric game the other night. At least on TV it seemed that way. So, but yeah, really cool, and I would love to maybe check another one out at some point down the road. It was, I wouldn't say it was like that much different than other sporting events that I've been to, but certainly for me, it's like I'm not really for either side. I was just kind of there for a good time. I wasn't really there for to root any specific side on. So I definitely think that makes a difference. Like if you're a sports fan and you have a team, like you want to see your team do good and you're passionate about that, or picking a favorite driver, or I think that makes a difference for a fan. And then just so me in that environment, I was like, kind of didn't really know which way to go. And but it was a lot of fun to just kind of see it. But it was, like I said, that they were have a lot of passionate fans and people that knew a lot more about what was going on than me. So I was trying to learn.
All right, John, go ahead.
John Newby, Fan Buzz. So looking at the monitor on your wrist, I'm kind of curious, how much are you diving into the data throughout the season as far as like your heart rate, your recovery, all those different things?
Fair amount, I guess. I would probably say, a little more, probably more during the week than I do on the weekends. Certainly I'm capturing that data as well, but I think that there's a lot of cool stuff, between your sleep and, some of the workouts that you do during the week. And certainly the races are interesting too, just kind of see what's what. I kind of know, typically your body does a pretty good job of telling you whether or not you're tired or whether or not you slept good, but it is interesting to, see that put into numbers.
And then just the different, the training that you guys do over on the Chevy side plus the races. Have you noticed, I guess, a discernible difference in how that's affected, like, your body, your resting heart rate, all of those different things?
I just generally speaking, I think at the end of the day, it's up to the individual whether you want to go and, how much you want to work out or not, and how much time you want to put into trying to improve some of those things. So I enjoy working out. Feel like I, have a pretty good routine. My routine's a little different, I would say, than, some of the folks. I'm not necessarily in the facility every day. I am when I'm in town, and enjoy that too, but definitely have a buddy I enjoy working out with, and we have a good little routine that we run through, and enjoy tracking all that and kind of pushing each other to, do better. And I think that impacts the car kind of indirectly, in that sense. But it's been fun.
All right, Jeff.
3 and 4, there's that black patch or strip or something that's like repaved.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys trying to avoid that, or do you want to get your tires on that?
I'll let you know after I feel it. I don't know. I think anytime you have, spots on the racetrack that are, discolored to the rest of the road, it could go either way, truthfully. Like sometimes sealer can be slick. Sometimes, those freshly paved spots can have a lot of grip. So, very circumstantial, but you'll know real quick whether or not you want to be on it or use it or not. But if it is actually fresh asphalt, then probably going to have some grip after a period of time. The stuff they used at Wilkesboro, for instance, like before they totally repaved it, it was almost like sandpaper. Like it wasn't, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't like a fresh asphalt. And it kind of worked both ways. So I don't know. I think it just kind of depends on what it feels like when you get on it. But we've used all sorts of different materials, it seems like, here recently. So need to see it.
Let somebody else try that first, or you go try it first?
I think it just depends. Like is it cleaned off? What does it look like? Is that the lane I want to be in? Kind of get eyes on it and feel it out from there.
All right, we're going to go Chris Knight, and then if I can get a microphone to Tim.
Chris Knight, catchfans.com. Chase, I know you like to get through this weekend before you start thinking about next weekend, but I was just curious if anything can top last year at Echo Park Speedway, where you were able to win in dramatic fashion. You had the charity on the car, and just you're going back there with the charity on the car again, and got a big event coming up next week. Can anything top last year?
Doing it again, I guess, could make it better. So that's the goal for sure. Certainly that was an incredible way to kind of celebrate 9 years of Design to Drive and all the things that went on with that event and the race and just all of it. So I hope we can run that back and have that type of performance again. It certainly made all of it come full circle and come together, which I really enjoyed. So it was a incredible experience, and I hope we can have just a night that was half as good as that. It would be a huge win, I think. But certainly going to try and put our best foot forward to go and get a win, no doubt.
Tim Moore Motorsports Today. Chase, you mentioned it's going to take you at least a second to get up to speed in terms of the O'Reilly car, but I am wondering, what are some of the first things you're going to be looking for when you get onto the track?
Well, I think just general laps, like, how big the bumps are, probably first and foremost, like general grip feel. My first laps will be in the Saturday car, so I think from that perspective, it's just like, okay, I have to recalibrate myself to this, and so yeah, really everything's going to probably feel a little new to me for a minute, I think, on that front, and hopefully after a handful of laps, I can kind of recalibrate my mind to those cars and the pace and all that, and then also at the same time take that time, and hopefully that will help me learn kind of where I need to be line wise and get in the Cup car and be up to speed. They're just so different. It's really it can really be a challenge from what I watch on TV, at least, to what I experience on Sundays. They look a lot different. So yeah, but hopefully just the track and just the general feel will help me make up for some of the lost time.
And now we're at the halfway point of the regular season, or of the overall season, excuse me. But what is it that you feel like you've improved on the most this year in 2026, and what are you most proud of?
I think our high spots and our good days have been better than some of our good days last year to this point in the season. I think that when we've been good and we've been on, I think we've been really competitive at different points throughout the year this year. I would say the downside of that is the inconsistency. I think we've been a little inconsistent, and I've certainly made a lot of mistakes throughout the course of the year that have cost us some finishes. So we'd love to just clean some of that up, but I'm encouraged by that. In a lot of ways, it's kind of hard to sift through some of the bad days, when you're frustrated and mad. But I do think some of the high spots have been, really encouraging from a pace perspective and just a performance perspective. I really think it's been pretty good, and I think our team's performing at a high level. And so yeah, just look forward to these next handful of races, and just want to try and get a good little string of races together would be really nice. Just some good solid days. Obviously want to win, but if you can't, just try and have some good solid days, minimize mistakes, myself included, and just put together some good races and see where that takes us. But yeah, I feel like our team's in a good spot, and look forward to, again, these next number of races, and then certainly starting the final 10.
All right, we'll take our final question here. Go ahead.
Zach Moore from the Bomb. Chase, it was recently announced that the IROC series is going to be joining the IndyCar series in Washington, and one of the drivers is going to be your dad. Your dad is 7 years old, and he's still choosing to go throw a fire suit on and go race. How cool is that to just be able to watch him race?
Yeah, no, it is. I don't know why. I think he really enjoys, he enjoys racing, and honestly, I think for him, I really think him and Ray are such good buddies, and I think when Ray asks him to go do something, it's really hard for him to say no, if you want the real honest answer. But he does enjoy driving. It's not like I don't think in his mind it's a super competitive thing. I think he just enjoys getting out there and making laps, and I do think he pushes himself for sure. I think naturally you probably don't have a choice just from doing this all the years that he's done it. But I think more than anything, he just enjoys going with those guys, and loves Ray, and likes to help where he can, and feels like he can lend a hand and contribute there and help out what they got going on. But it sounds like a really cool thing, in DC, and that would be a really cool one, I think, to consider on our side of things one day too.
All right, Chase, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck tomorrow and Sunday.
Thanks. Appreciate it.